Hello everyone, Unknown Reefer here, bringing you a little quick tip video today. Now this tip's all going to be about how I got my copperband there eating frozen. Now I'm not saying this is a guide to proper long-term survival. He's only been in the tank a month, but he is feeding well, so there is still chances things can go wrong, copperbands being what they are. But I thought I'd just do this quick vid of how I got mine eating frozen. Now I bought him from the shop and he was eating frozen in the shop. Although I didn't actually see him eating frozen, because when I went to buy him the tanks had just been fed. The shop I go to, I've been going to for quite a long time, and I do trust the guy that works there, so he said that this one was eating. When I brought it home, as copperbands do from what I hear, it wouldn't eat frozen. So the first thing I sort of had is I had lots of pods, coppepods and amphipods in my tank. So after probably a day and a half of a bit of bullying from my purple tang, it did start going around the rockwork and start picking at the rockwork. Now what it was doing is it was picking round here mostly, because it was kind of staying up in this corner of the tank. So I used an old filter from an old tropical tank that I had. Please excuse the hair algae, that's a symptom of putting the copperband in. So what I did was I used this easy mastic, reef mastic, that was already in little like pea size sort of capsule, mixed up, ready to go. What I did was I actually mixed that mastic up, because I know they can eat mastic, but I mixed it up in a shot glass with some frozen mysis and frozen brine shrimp. And then what I did was I put some of that, poked it in sort of in the rocks, in the gaps in the rocks here, and I put some in there. So although the rest of the fish could get to the ones in the rockwork, I tended to put it in at the same time I fed the rest of the fish. So there was always a place in the rockwork or in that filter that the copperband could get to. And literally within a couple of days of mixing the mastic in, because it would eat the mastic, mixing the mastic in with the frozen mysis and frozen brine, it started to take that out of the water column. So I'm going to feed him now and show you. Please excuse the cloudiness in the tank. Obviously my phosphates and nitrates went up because I was feeding extra at the beginning. I tend to feed about 3 blocks of frozen, or 3.5 blocks of frozen a day, plus some nori a couple of times a week, and a little bit of flake goes in the auto feeder to stop the chromas murdering each other. But because I've been chucking in 4 or 5 blocks a day, my nitrates and phosphates went up, so I've added a little bit of no-pox to bring that down. But I'm just struggling to get the dosage right because I'm getting a little bit of cloudy water. So that's the other thing you've got to do is bit of mastic, mix in your frozen food, put it somewhere that only the copperband can eat. I tried clams and raised clams and it didn't show any interest in them, but it liked the mastic with the frozen food in. I then fed heavy with the frozen foods, which I defrost, and it's now getting to a point where it will eat frozen even if you chuck a block in, and as it defrosts it will eat. So proof is in the pudding. So in we go, straight away on the frozen food with all the other fish. It will tend to get it and spit it out and then eat it again, but it will always get some. Now obviously this is 3 blocks, it just looks like a lot because I've defrosted it, but they'll generally go around the tank. See all my other critters, my arrow go there. Go around the tank and everything can feed on it, but the copperband is always right there and even knows when there's a noise up on that part of the tank where that feed hatch is, it will come up for food. So hopefully if anybody's struggling to get their nice new copperbands eating, that helps. I primarily got it for aptasia control, which it has done a lovely job of. It's also eaten all the little mini sort of fan worms I've had around the tank. But it did take a week or two to actually get to a point. I'll make off now. Got to sort of a week or two before it would actually eat any aptasia. So don't expect them to go in and eat all your Aptasia straight away. If you want to try it, try the mastic with frozen food mixed in, where no other fish can get it, and then that will slowly make it more confident and get it used to eating normal frozen. Thanks a lot. Any questions? Put them down below.